Hello, everyone. This is Professor Hill. Short video for our class, Introduction to Ethics Philosophy 2306, here at St. Philip's College for the Maymester of 2023. Today is Saturday, the 27th of May, 2023. We had an essay that was due last night. Everybody got them turned in. I went through and graded them today. Saturday, sitting Saturday here at the office. Anyway, it's a short class. And that's the thing. We're at the end of week 2. We've only got one more week to go. Last night, Friday night, ended the Monday, Friday for week number 2. Now all we've got left is week 3 next week, Monday, Friday. So we want to make sure that we are plowing ahead and are reading our chapter and then looking at the case study. The case study, well, first, before I get to the case study and Monday night, let me just say about the essays. The essays looked really quite good. They looked great. People are doing really well. Everybody's got the system down now. And here's the only thing that I've got a comment about. A lot of the students have been saying, I read the case, I looked at who the decision maker was, and I was trying to analyze their thinking. And so I think that the process that they went through, the decision maker, their thinking process reflected X moral theory, whether that's consequentialism, utilitarianism as an example of that, or some kind of natural law deontology. I get that. Here, and people have applied it. They've brought in the concepts from the chapter, defined things, applied it. So people are doing well. That's what we're supposed to be doing. But here's the thing. You want to make sure that you're you got to understand the terms and concepts and apply them appropriately. Because what you want to stay away from is saying, I think that the person in the case study was using both A and B. Now, you might be able to make that argument, and it might be the case, but you don't want to have contradictory things, right? This has popped up once or twice where people are saying, oh, I know what explains their thinking. It looks a little bit like this and a little bit like this, but those things are mutually exclusive. Meaning that it can't be both. And look, this is the tricky part. And what I want you to do as we go forward now is analyze the case studies. But this is what's much more important to me, is that you make a choice. You say what you think, is this right or wrong, which is, by the way, is getting us to Monday night in our next case study. We're back to medical ethics. And it's the Nash family. I want to hear in this next essay about your thinking, your thought process. And I want you to describe your own thought process. Because here's the thing, it's different than just conjecture about somebody. It's like, remember John, the paramedic? Well, maybe he thought this, maybe he thought that, and there was some evidence to support those things. But really what I'm interested in as we get to the Nash family and the decision they made, which was very controversial, especially at the time, 20-something years ago now. It was a case of first impression, meaning that it's the first time the technology was available and it was an option to people. It was very controversial for that reason. They were kind of the first couple to have to decide whether to do this or not because the technology had just been invented. It's commonplace now, by the way. But what you have complete access to and complete understanding of is your own thought process, your own moral judgment. Think your way through it, make a decision, is what they did right or wrong, and then tell me why, and explain that given the terms and concepts from our book, Doing Ethics by Louis Vaughn. That's where we've been leading up to this case study and to this process. So I want to make sure that you're able to say, this was my decision, and be clear about this. And again, guys, you can't just bail and say, I don't think it's right or wrong. You got to make a choice. You have to tell me whether you think it's right or wrong and why. And again, people have figured this out. They know how to bring the concepts from the chapter and describe their thinking and their thought process in terms of the philosophical tools that we've been studying. So, the Nash family. So that was a little bit about the essays. The essays look great. People have been doing fantastic work so far. Very few complaints about the essays to this point. People are doing fabulous, especially as a group. Normally there's a wider range, but right now we're all bunched up at the top, which is great. The Nash family. It's complicated. And people are going to recognize it because after this happened, it's a true, we're going to look at the actual family, the Nash family, and the decisions they made. It turns out it was so controversial, it became the subject of a book, My Sister's Keeper, Jodi Picoult, who wrote the novel in 2004. And then it became a movie based on the novel, based on the actual case, which was Cameron Diaz and Alec Guinness and, a bunch of other people. So it was a popular movie that it followed like 5 years later. So it was like the novel in 2004, the movie in 2009, and it was a popular movie. And here's the thing: in the novel, she changed some of the facts and made it a fictitious story to make it a little bit more dramatic. So it's not an actual documentary about what really happened in the Nash family. It just kind of took the idea and twisted it a little bit for, she took dramatic license, which is fair game. The movie did that even more. But I do think it's important for you to look at, we're just going to be focusing on the case, on the actual, what they decided. So don't conflate the novel and the movie with the actual case study. Although, by the way, it is interesting to watch them and to see what decisions they took, the author and then the director of the movie, the screenwriter, took to make it a little bit more dramatic. But it's a difficult case. It's a good medical ethics case. We've got lots of students that are interested in the field and things like this. So I think people will enjoy it. But remember, what we're going to be doing this time is making a choice, describing it with the tools we've been learning about, writing all that down. All right. So if you got questions about that, let me know. Contact me. I'm here for you. God knows all the time. I'm going to get out of here and go home. It's Saturday. All right. Take care of yourselves. I'll talk to you all soon. Bye. Have a good weekend if you can find the time.